Right now at 11, flashbangs, pepper spray, and a suspect on the roof as a 12-hour-long standoff comes to a surprising conclusion.
I mean, there's so many incidents here, but this has been the biggest one. It's just shocking.
And the community says goodbye to a teenager shot and killed in Sandy.
What I want people to know about COVID is that he was so much more than the struggles he faced.
Plus, new video of the cleanup from a chemical tank blast that killed 11 workers, with questions about exactly what to call it.
It's not why it happened, it's the damage that we observed.
And later, just in time for the season of sunshine, how training and teamwork are coming together.
Even though the air temperature is really warm, the water temperature is not, and it can take your breath away.
But first to our top story, and the community of Sandy in mourning after 3 people, a mother, a grandmother, and a teenage neighbor were shot and killed. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm David Molko. Catherine Cook shows us how people gathered this evening to honor 16-year-old Coben McClure.
Hundreds filled the Sandy High Stadium Friday night to remember 16-year-old Coben McClure.
He was the kind of person who can make people laugh without even trying.
Coben, one of 3 people shot and killed in Sandy last weekend.
He was someone who generally cared about the people around him.
Many wore camouflage because that's what Coben loved to wear. They brought balloons, drove motorcycles. Some came as families, others by themselves. A cross-section that Gunnar Carson says is just like Sandy, united in their differences and resilient.
That we can rebuild really fast. We can get together and all of that. We don't really try and separate.
Gunnar made this cross for Coben as the whole community grieves. On Sunday, police say 38-year-old Brian Moore shot and killed his wife, Jenna Overson, her mother, Beth, and Coben, their neighbor. Moore is also accused of shooting Sandy Police Sergeant Garrett Thornton, who survived. Off camera, Coben's mother told us her son stood up for others, especially if they were being bullied. Many here shared stories about the teen, someone they loved, someone they miss.
What I want people to know about Coben is that he was so much more than the struggles he faced. He was caring, he was funny, he was goofy, and he was stubborn.
Loved ones set up a GoFundMe for Coben's mom to help with funeral expenses. Also, detectives in this case are asking the public for any video from the day of the shooting. In Sandy, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
All right, let's switch to a live look from our Rose City Sky camera on a gorgeous Friday night, though we're in for a wet start to the weekend and even, it seems, a chance of thunderstorms. Celine Stevens tracked it all in your weather impact forecast. Happy Friday, Celine.
Happy Friday, David. Yeah, exactly. We're looking at showers on Saturday, but they haven't started yet. We're still dry right now in Portland. Looking at our Wells Fargo Tower sky camera, sitting at 57 degrees. Our winds are coming out of the west at 8 miles per hour right now. But check out our satellite. As you'll see, Portland's staying dry. We've been tracking the rain to the north of us in Astoria, Longview, Mount St. Helens all day today, but it still hasn't hit us here at home yet. But that will change as we get into early Saturday morning. But taking a live look at our temperatures, 57 here at home and in Troutdale and in Vancouver, low 50s in places like McMinnville, and then along the coast we're seeing our temperatures in the low 50s right now. But here we go for our future cast. As we get into early tomorrow morning, you're going to see that rain starting to close in on the Portland area, and by around 9-10 o'clock we're going to be dealing with those widespread showers for the majority of the day. That said, it's light rain and it's on and off. It's not a washout of a Saturday. I want to stress that. As we get to late Saturday, it starts to dry up, and then Sunday's left pretty dry with some clouds until another frontal system moves on Monday, bringing us rain through Monday through Wednesday. So definitely some more moisture on the way, but tomorrow, starting the day with some rain. By noon, we have that chance of thunderstorms, and then by the end of the day, we're still holding on to showers. I'll talk more about how much rain we're expecting in a bit.
Yeah, bit of a cool one too. Thanks, Celine. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Southeast Portland standoff that began with a hostage situation early this morning ended peacefully some 12 hours later with a suspect in custody. It all started around 5:30 near Northeast 122nd and Halsey when police responded to a domestic disturbance at an apartment. Authorities say the hostage got away safely, but the suspect remained inside with some neighbors sheltering in place and others forced to evacuate. Nearby roads closed most of the day. Police eventually using flashbangs, tear gas, and pepper spray, which you can see drove the man out of the apartment, though not through the front door.
He was running around on the roof to try to get away from us, but eventually jumped onto the tree and kind of swung down. He's lucky. I mean, if he had fallen straight down from there, he really could have been seriously injured.
Well, as you heard, officers tried to reach the suspect. He climbed down a tree, and then police were waiting there to arrest him. Police say the man was armed with a handgun. No shots were fired, and no one was hurt. What a day. In Clark County, one person is in custody after a deadly stabbing in Battleground. The sheriff's office says 2 people were stabbed around 1:30 this afternoon west of State Route 503 near Northeast 117th Avenue and 244th Street. That appears to be a residential and relatively rural area. A man died at the scene and a woman was taken to the hospital. A Portland woman is suing the federal government after she says a federal officer pepper sprayed her in the face during a protest outside the South Portland ICE facility. Lawyers for Leilani Payne allege she was retaliated against last October for exercising her First Amendment rights. The complaint, the video here, you can see it says Payne was standing in the street and complying with officer instructions when an agent stepped forward and sprayed her point blank in the face and then walked away. The federal government has not responded to the lawsuit yet. Payne is seeking $350,000 in damages. And caught on camera, police are searching for this suspect they say vandalized the Albina Head Start building. The video is from Sunday morning along northeast Alberta. You can hear the suspect muttering to himself. Then he walks up to the big glass windows, and starts throwing rocks at them. The suspect ran off, and police say they have not made any arrests. It's a new video this evening from Washington's Department of Ecology from the site of that chemical tank failure at a Longview paper mill. This was recorded on Thursday and shows part of the break room that was demolished in the blast that killed 11 workers, along with destroyed vehicles, and a closer look at what's left of the tank that contained that caustic chemical known as white liquor. And as state and federal investigations get underway and facts come to light, experts say the way they describe what's happened could make a big difference in what comes next. Kyla Boshi explains.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
In their initial calls for help, workers at Nippon Dynawave Packaging in Longview reported a tank imploded.
We're reporting a tank imploded. It looks like there's 3 people with chemical burns and 1 subject is missing.
In the days after the disaster, emergency officials and the media continued to describe it as an implosion, along with various other terms.
This was a blast. We've used the word explosion, we've used the word implosion, I've also used the word failure. Indeed, there was a rupture, a failure, a blast. All of those to us mean the same. It's not why it happened, it's the damage that we observed.
In a statement to investors, Nippon Paper described the event as a tank collapse. But the distinction, implosion, blast, or collapse, isn't just semantics. An industrial safety consultant says words matter.
It's important to get the terminology right because it starts you down a path.
Mike Schmidt of Bluefield Process Safety warns implosion could point investigators toward problems with pressure or venting. A collapse could raise questions about corrosion or aging equipment. Different failures require different solutions.
If they've been told it was an implosion, they'll start thinking, what do we need to do to our other tanks to prevent them from imploding? And they might spend a lot of energy and effort protecting other tanks from implosions when implosions aren't really the problem that they need to be dealing with.
State and federal investigators are already trying to determine what happened. And when they're done, we'll know how best to describe this tragedy and what can be done to prevent it. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
In terms of a timeline here, some of the state investigations could take up to 6 months, while the Federal Chemical Safety Board could take more than a year. Meanwhile, most of the bodies of the workers killed, 11, will be transported back to Cowlitz County tomorrow from the Seattle area in order to be returned by the coroner to their families. If you'd like to pay your respects, you can view the procession from I-5 overpasses, likely starting around 5 p.m. between exits 42 and 57. Multnomah County commissioners have finalized a $4 billion budget that includes major cuts to homeless services. Nearly 700 shelter beds will be phased out this summer, leaving the county with about 1,700 remaining. When it comes to public safety, The budget maintains capacity at the 2 county jails and even restores 4 prosecutors in the district attorney's office. It also adds over $800,000 to the DA's digital evidence unit. Well, that may sound good. DA Nathan Vasquez says his department took a major hit.
No matter what fuzzy math the county commissioners may tell you, we lost $3.5 million. We saw people like Commissioner Singleton flat out ignore their community. She repeatedly voted against public safety, particularly any amendments that had to do with the district attorney's office.
Fuzzy math, he says. Well, in a statement, Commissioner Shannon Singleton, who the DA mentioned there and is also running for county chair, says she is proud of the investments the county was able to make in housing, sustainability, and support for immigrants.